Hello, everyone. This is the 2026 INAF Cup Invitational for professionals from the North America and for professionals from Japan, the Nihon-Kiin Japanese Go main Go association. This is their younger players, their stronger of their younger professionals, which tend, Anyways, here's more information. The four of us are playing in our homes in North America from afar, and we are each have a proctor to watch over us when we play. We are joining this Zoom, and these are the four Japanese players. And there's some more information. Now, you guys may have received an email from the Go Journal this morning. I did. Yes, right here, on this tournament as news. INAF, this was Sunday night is when we played. Monday morning for the Japanese players. Four of our North American professionals against the young professionals in Japan, single elimination. Sponsored by this foundation. Organized by the Nihon-Kiin and NAGF. Okay, 66.5 Komi, strong professionals under the age of 25. On Cyber Oro or W Baduk, players have 55 minutes and 60 seconds Byoyomi 5 times. And here's the matchups. The next round is at June 21st. And this is the interesting part. The final location is in person. And if a North American professional reaches the championship match, the final will be played live at the US Go Congress in Boston. But if it's the Japanese players, it would be held in Japan by themselves. So they wouldn't have to both travel all the way here just to play their championships. It makes sense, but it just ups the stakes a little bit. And speaking of upping the stakes, when I found out who we are playing against, these guys, I was these guys are very, very strong players. Under the age of 25, which is, right, 2001, 2005. And for example, my opponent here is Koki, Fuji Koki. This guy, and I looked him up, he's winning all his games recently. He beat some players I recognize, like these. And he didn't beat, this is Ayama Yuta, but he's the #1 player in Japan for a long time. So anyways, this is his Go ratings page. He is 279 in the world, so quite a bit higher ranked than I am, with a win against this guy. This guy is 100 something. And he didn't beat Ayama Yuta, but he was able to get to play some. Here is him playing against Ichiriki here. And his rating has gone up and up and up. So when I found out who my opponent was, I was, let's just say I did not have high hopes for my chances of winning. I was happy to play and everything. It is my job as a professional, of course. But I always like, as a professional, you always want to play the strongest players you can. But chances of winning is another matter. This is his Fox handle. You guys may have seen this guy. I've seen this guy so many and played with him on Fox many, many times. This guy, very, very, very strong player on Fox, and his online, offline record shows how strong he is. And I played him a few times. This is my account with Zichun Pub here. And every game looks like this. By move 50, it's 90s. Move 100 was around here. I'm always at 1% at move 100 or below, so it's quite and then it's like it like sticks there. It's like I have a heartbeat in the beginning, and then no more. So let's just say I knew what to expect when the time comes. Yeah. Okay, so this is W Baduk or Cyber Oro. I think there are a couple of servers combined into one, and this is how the match looked when I played the game. So first, we'll take a few minutes to go through this without diagrams, to tell you guys how the game went, and then with the AI variations. So, as usual, you know, estimation of our skill levels confirmed. Really, downhill, uphill battle for me. As usual, main idea was playing very strong against very strong opponents, and all opponents in general is focus on sustainable development and keeping up, and look for opportunities is secondary. Looking for opportunities to attack and do damage to the opponent is secondary. Specifically with very strong players, I have a little bit more flavor mixed in, which is try to take advantage of defender's advantage and sort of goad the opponent into attacking, committing to attacks against us. And I feel like that's my best shot of winning these games. And I have no doubt, he's blitzing through his opening games. And another part of the game plan, remember 55 minutes of main time, 1 minute Byoyomis, is I know that my deficit with AI preparation, especially in the opening, is rather poor. So I have a big deficit there. Plan is to spend a lot of time in the opening stages just to keep up. Just hopefully we're not at 1% by move 50. And the game went this way. I was black, was able to get the opponent to play a Moyo opening, which is the first step to me invading and maybe using defender's advantage. So first a little bit more greed, a few more exchanges, and then I'm looking at invasions. So when game plan general okay, but when I looked at the Moyo, I was really, not surprised, but, not quite dismayed yet, but, unhappy about not being able to find some very good reduction kind of moves. It's not easy to find the moves. AI wants me to play here, but I was thinking, but White's Moyo is too big, and I felt like I had to do something about it. Went ahead with these invasions, and I know this peep is a regular move, but here is where the previous white moves, the three moves, this one, and this one, in hindsight, I felt like, okay, this, he blitzed through them. I'm sure he knows that these are good moves. So, anyways, yeah, I'm very, already in a bit of trouble here. Hane and Tiger Mouse move very strong, like sustainable development attacks, and I am just in the game, I played the Satari after a while, and I sort of accepted that I'm a little bit behind now in the opening. Don't know how much yet, but the thing is, I played H18, an extra crawling move, just to make white not be able to turn. The turn itself is a Gote move. If I played here for like here P15 for example, white's turning the next move Hane connect is Sente, and this is very efficient and it's very far and it's being made. So that's why I played an extra crawling move. But then he played an unconventional jump, which is a little faster than usual. Then again here, so now I come to here and I'm like, I can spend another move on the outside, but if white Hane is here, white's gonna be totally safe. The upper left is already thickness. The lower left having thickness with ice space is too much for me to handle. Even if I survive with a group, it's going to be very bad. And this is probably, this is all very, I have no doubt that this is a common technique, AI approved and things like that. So white ended up getting another move that can participate in the attack. It's a white played here. And I was felt like I was in a worse position than before, because before I could not find a good invasion or reduction idea. Now now I've basically had a little more inside out exchanges and am a little more committed to doing something about the Moyo, but I can't figure out how to do it. And it's a very, very tough moment. Spent a lot of time here already. Ended up going for this one, and this turn inside. So remember, the game plan was entice the opponent to block on the outside, probably turn. It's going to peep here in Sente, maybe a few exchanges, force white to connect, and then maybe I could find a way to live on the inside. But defender's advantage is great when the opponent has a lot of weaknesses. Pretty soon, when white gets to connect here, it's gonna be no more weaknesses. It's gonna be really tough. But at least it's opponent coming over to capture me. Anyways, so I went for this, and white went for a very calm and stable move here. It's just, I did play this A17 Atari, which does make white a little weaker than before, and white is just strengthening this. It also helps with, when I eventually capture this, it helps with the endgame there, and my situation is not better off, so felt really, really bad at this moment. My time is taking down. Like 20 minutes left, 30 minutes left. Opponent has barely spent, 10 minutes here. Went for this attach, and when white played here, this was really, really tough. Every move I'm taking many minutes, up to 5 minutes a move. Every move my opponent's only taking, 10, 20 seconds. It's really tough. And I'm like, this is now move number, this is around move 50, and I was like, God damn it, this is happening again. I have no doubt that when I pull up the AI review later, it's going to be very, very low. And at this moment, before I played this exchange, really, really took a long time, used up all of my time. I had 5 minutes after making the next decision. The strong move is to cut. White was going to crawl. I'm going to try to make some agi here and then extend and fight against the two groups here, get liberties, maybe fight against the bottom. Very, very far-fetched, and in that case, white is almost alive on the bottom too. And when I played here, it's every single white move is used perfectly too. Really tough. And I look at the time here. White has 42 minutes left. White has barely used over 10 minutes, and I am at Byoyomi at already. And probably I ended up blocking here, letting white basically capture the inside for free. A big, big Moyo here. I've no doubt I'm at like single digits percentage too, having used all my time and the opponent. This really shows how much the AI study benefits people, and especially with serious professionals nowadays in Asia, this amount of opening knowledge is really, really dominant over what we have here. Anyways, end up playing a Sente move. Felt it was Sente, a little risky, but white answered here. But white did not answer with a move here. White answered with a move that was also better for the endgame. After the capture, white basically has to respond. Now white does not have to respond. Luckily for me, though, I got a little bit of Aji, even though, the 8 stones dying is probably quite bad, I have no doubt. It was another relative, so white now is playing relatively safe. Of course, I would too. And so at this moment, when white cut, I played this one. This push and cut is a threat. I was very afraid of this turn, which really shores up the middle. But if the left is all dead, the middle is very thick. So why do that instead of this? And yeah, all right. Anyways, in Yomi for a while now. White has like 40 minutes left. Barely used 15 seconds. I thought, hope this game doesn't end in an hour. It's really bad. Anyways, go for the Aji. This, at least, this last exchange here with E13 gave me a bit more liberties, gave me a dead group. Defender's advantage has turned into, dead group Aji. And at least I'm able to use a little bit of this. And if white gives up the 2 stones on the top, I'm sure, that also visually looks very big. So white does not give up the top. End up trying to make do with everything here. Tried to play this Hane in Sentei at the time. I felt like this probably I would be able to get it. I was very afraid of this outside Atari. I wasn't quite sure if I could cut and have a bunch of Ataris. Was not quite sure what I could do on the inside. White connected as expected. Haned, white extended. I played this one. I was also afraid of white playing something stronger when I Haned. Atari or double Hane are both very, very strong moves. White is probably coasting, which is normal. Played this one. Another really when you're behind, when you feel like you're behind and you have to play like a purely defensive move, it's never good. White played here, shores up the left. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Here I played another Sente move here, another peep, and attacking move. At least I'm getting some, at least now I'm not fighting from a location where I was clearly weaker, and I just strengthened the middle, so at least I have something to look forward to. Played another move here, expected this move, Atari in the middle, a few more points, a few ice spaces. If white Atari is here, I can Hane and then extend, which is more Aji, so white just blocked, which makes sense. The good part about this is it connected the 2 stones over. This is a threat, but I can deal with it by headbutting. The 2 stones will be safe. So I can turn back to the top. Really wanted to play the squeeze and keep white not alive, but I felt like the Aji was too much. I couldn't do it. Played this. Seemed like it was okay, and at least I was able to count some more territory and potential territory for black. So I didn't feel quite so bad at this moment. The left is about 60 points. I could easily see 60 points for black. So probably white's still doing better, but I'm a little more hopeful now. This move in the middle, especially more hopeful when I'm able to find some more Aji in the middle. I played this one, I immediately regretted this middle. I was thinking about pushing, cutting, doesn't quite work, pushing and blocking, and then peep is strong, just pressing is strong, another move. Thinking about various things, I decided to go for the middle Aji first. So when white played here, I was really regretful of the last move too, instant regret. Can't connect these stones out, so if I can only do damage to the 2 stones, it's not going to be quite enough. Ended up playing, continuing to develop with a jump and allowed white to play the first moves here. But I was able to find finally find some Aji, and finally some amount of damage against white. White can play this move, Atari, and block is Sente. It really makes middle strong. And then even though white got the first move on the top right, black being strong, I could still contest the game. I felt like the game was much better now than before. It really felt like I clawed back a lot. When white extended out, I was, of course, surprised, but I can see, honestly, in my mind, I already felt like I made a comeback here, but, and of course, white felt the pressure too at around here. So at this moment, capturing the middle, doing a whole round of positional judgment with counting and estimation, I really felt like I was actually in a much better position now. Before, with these moves and some sustainable development, getting this Sente, a bunch of senteis in the middle, I think really helped. Anyways, played this, played the peep, went for the cut, a bit of regret, probably blocking, because I went for the cut and I did not, when white played the strongest responses here, did not go for the extend, which would be my strongest local response. I just played here, felt like I was, okay. And so ended up not prosecuting the fighting here that much, mostly because I saw that this move was really, really big. This is a peep against the two stones on the outside, even after white plays here, and eventually black playing this Atari would give black a lot of liberties on the inside with the ko, and this white group is, I don't have to capture the white group or keep, as long as I take away, I'm able to force a liberty capture. This is like 5 points in the back here. And then if I'm able to surround the lower corner too, that would be ideal. That would be great. So I ended up giving up a little bit on the top right to get this, and in my mind felt like I was still keeping full control of the game or retaking control, and now at least I have a even to an advantageous result finally, and I'm breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief at having an okay position. So it was a big shocker when white played here and my power went out. It was a late night big summer thunderstorm, and so I had all these plans, for the middle here and like liberties and stuff. I didn't expect white to tanuki here. At most, I expected white to jump or something, but the jump is clearly not sustainable development. So this move is. So I knew I was in a pretty okay to good position here. And when the power went out, we scrambled, of course, to get back online and everything. Power went back in 5 seconds. It was just a momentary power, just shut the internet off. The router reset after a few minutes. Before I was thinking about various plans here and stuff, but when I came back, I was just happy I'm not out of time, and I didn't like lose by disconnect, and ended up, time was counting down, and ended up playing a very safe move here. I was like estimating territory. I just ended up playing this one. Allowed white to have a sente move here, and white continues, and ended up going back to this, which was necessary, and now it's a pretty close game. I knew I counted when I counted potentially up by 10 to 15 points on the board, which is a good comfortable win, but white is much stronger and thicker on the board, and plus I counted with me having this J18 move, so I knew that the game was actually very, very close, and I'm always overly optimistic. So when I played these moves and played here, thinking about potentially playing this one, but it's not a sente, and it's not so clear that it's much better than the Atari. I should have played that one at this moment, because I played defensively the previous round of 10 moves. Should have been a little more anyways. The 1 minute of overtime really helped out by being able to have enough time where I'm at least able to make good decisions and not like overly pressured. Anyways, I played here. It's a big move. This is a sente move. This is a huge move too. And I ended up playing a bit more risky here. I knew the previous round I was, not that aggressive. Ended up playing a pretty aggressive move here, and white did respond. White does have 3 potential groups, even though the last move here significantly strengthened that one, and the top right is probably safe. Anyways, ended up playing this and this. This honey connect. I instantly regretted again. Felt like it was sente. Atari cut works, but white has this Atari. Although this Atari gives me this connecting sente at the end, so it's not, this Atari. It's kind of sente. I was very anxious here. Anyways, white connected very quickly, so I was okay too. at least, I was like, I was very happy. At least my game was not the first one to finish. Went to this round, I have no doubt by move 60, I was at single digits, 1%. I was just happy to be able to have a reasonably close game later, and even probably, having taken a lead before as well. So this one, this move ended up playing a very thickness-oriented endgame with this connect, and went for more Sentes here. But this, losing this middle was very painful. Ended up going for these Sentes. I was a little anxious about what to do in the middle, so I played what I felt was a pretty safe Sente here. And still, I did not want to accept just capturing, forcing white to connect. But I couldn't find anything better. Push, block, capture, this connect has this Atari move and connect. So I ended up playing another, time Suji Sente move. I did not feel like this was particularly dangerous, but later on this would really show. Anyways, I ended up not finding anything better than this. Ended up like this. White played this very, very large endgame, and I was really shocked. Like, what? I expected, of course, white to make another connect. Expected my L16 to be Sente and all, but no, it was not. White runs home this way and connects, and everything, this move really shored up the life on the top. So this cut, which is Sente, which would at least make this move Sente, which is big enough as an endgame. White got the endgame there, so I was like, wow, White really fought really well here, really tight. But at this moment, I was able to find this. I didn't see much counterplay from White here, but ended up doing this connect. Letting White capture the 3 stones, but the outside is all surrounded now, where White, is going to have less liberties after capturing 3 stones. Kind of crazy. And so at the end here, White wins this inside liberty by 1 liberty, but has to fill 3 moves here. So I was very sure I was, did another round of counting, and I was very sure I was going to have over 10 points of advantage. My guess was 13 points ahead. And so when White played here, I played the safest move there. And then when White connected, ended up getting this Sente and then connect, and ended up making this connect. It's reasonable. My guess was 13 points on the board, and White resigned. Clearly, White also very strong. I wouldn't have resigned because I don't trust my counting that much. White, clearly being such a strong player, is able to see everything. So this is the strongest opponent I have ever beaten, and this was great. So next we'll just take a brief look through the AI, and largely as expected. This is move 60 and 14 points. White is supposed to go on the outside around here. Really single. This part was this move. White did indeed have some very strong moves around here, and White did play safe and effective and strong, and was 10 points ahead, and had over 40 minutes by move 60. So despite my best efforts, I was not able to avoid the situation. This is what day in, day out training gives one with AI and everything. The outside Atari was indeed the move, and I was not able to get this Sente, and having gotten it was a little bit better, 9 points to 6.8, and the game was not as bad as I felt at this moment. Getting a lot of these, Sente moves in. Oh, I played this first and got it in Sente. White was supposed to play here and did not actually play there, and only a 4-point game, totally manageable. And this part, Yeah. White definitely did have to do this one. This is visually a bit, it's okay. Anyways, so I wasn't luckily I was able to find Aji and make a full comeback. And I was actually ahead and did play it simple here because I felt like probably this move should have been played before any of the top right, but it was actually really, really important. Ended up putting pressure on White and making territory. And this was when we had a power outage, and no surprise, the move that I came back with was a big miss. Yeah, super close end game, and I really did did my best here. At the end, remember I played these safety end games here, trying to figure out some if I could do anything better than M4. Turns out this was a huge opportunity for White to play this one and then extend because the ladder doesn't work. Extend would have captured the three black stones on the outside, so black had to fight back with something like this, and hard to see if White was gonna totally survive on the bottom. It's AI says yes, and yeah, of course I agree with it. It was hard to tell at the time. So that was the opportunity. The next move was definitely the opportunity too. Ended up making the right move, and here I felt like I got the good stuff, the good moves with the extend. But here I did not foresee White being able to capture this in Sente, and then taking the this does lose a liberty on the inside, and then taking the this way out. This way, it is still some. Definitely play the connect first, and then play here. Sorry, connect here first, and then play this one. I guess it's the same. This way, White loses a few points, but White was gonna lose a few points on the inside anyways. And in the game when White played this connect, and I was able to come up with a best move here, White ended up having to lose the moves inside anyways with this, and White did not take this in Sente, so the difference of this was another 2-3 points. Remember, this is a Gote in the center move worth maybe 5 points, so half of that is like 2.5, and so at the end it was a comfortable win. Still, I always when I think I'm ahead, I always overcount myself. So at the end, 4.5 is 11 points on the board. I counted 13. Remember, so. Anyways, a quick AI look there. Largely agreed with how I felt in the game. Again, the opponent clearly much stronger than I am, but was able to hold on. And at the end here, with a bracket, Bill ended up winning too, and so Bill won, I won, Alexander also won against the 4P here. So on the bottom half, we actually do already have two NA pros playing in the quarterfinals. So the first round we did our job of making sure that at least one player in the championship final is North America. So we made sure that the finals will happen at the US Go Congress, which is it was very tough. If their opponents are half as tough as my opponent, God knows how they were able to manage their wins, because I certainly had a super hard time. Clearly, this guy, my opponent, is gonna go on to very good very good Go careers and playing stronger players and all that. But yeah, anyways, strong Japanese players under the age of 25 against North American pros. First round, one of them did manage to win, Tanaka Yuki here. Anyways, so it's still up for grabs. But at least, the NA side, we significantly outperformed the expectations, I'd say. All right, and so that's it. And if you guys see my opponent in the future, don't be surprised if we don't do well against him. Is yeah, just remember that despite my best efforts using all of my main time, I was still down to um, 1%, single digits, if not 1% at move 60, despite spending all my time, and he only spent about 10 minutes. So there's a lot more details, of course, mistakes back and forth, but that's how the game went. I'm just very happy that I'm able to play one good game. And so I definitely outperformed expectations for myself. And, it's I've lost a bunch of games at City League this year in the B League in the US. So, I certainly am not a, totally winning player here in the US. So if you guys beat me, you guys should feel happy about this. And so lastly here, this is Fuji Koki here. He beat this guy, Lai Junfu here from this guy who is a strong player. And this guy has actually beaten, I was looking, this guy. So one of this guy's opponents that he did beat also, I was looking, also beat Shin Jinseo at least once. So my, the American like degrees of separation from the, Shin Jinseo here, me beating an opponent, beating Shin Jinseo is 3. Degree of separation is 3, which makes me really happy. And of course, when we talk about degree of separation, probably Ryan, I've beaten Ryan before, and Ryan beat Chen Yaoye before, which probably I could have gone that route. Probably also gotten to 3 degrees of separation with Shin Jinseo there. So pretty good. So Chen Yaoye, Ryan beat him once. I beat Ryan, which is 2 degrees. And if this guy beats Shin Jinseo once, that would also be 3 degrees. And he played him so many times, probably, yeah, here it is. 2018 was the last time that, oh no, 2019 was the last time this guy beat Shin Jinseo. So I could get to Shin Jinseo in a variety of 3 degrees of separation, I guess. That makes me feel very good. And if you guys have beaten me before, that makes you guys 4 degrees or maybe 3 degrees, always. Anyways, I'm happy to share that NA players did not bomb out as the organizers, I could tell, was expecting. And God, W Baduk or Cyber Oro is very difficult to search up the records for the other players. So I don't know how their games went, but God, if the opponents are half as strong as my opponent, 270 in the world, they have God knows how they were able to manage their wins. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, and the finals of this will be held at Go Congress. So see you guys there, and take care, and see you guys in the next video.